The immigrant female body can be transgressive when it finds spaces to manifest and display its perspective and its expressions. A result of working with the body is the immediate, if short-lived, intervention that occurs. When bodies are controlled and scrutinized to assess where they are allowed to be and for how long, if they can move around or not, and how they should behave and form social relations, the act of inhabiting and taking over spaces questions such notions as democracy, human rights, public property, public spaces, and public institutions. Discourse is action, and in action lies one of the biggest contributions to contemporary art from the women working within their bodies in the Global South, as we, perform the radical act of self-preservation. Working in collaboration with powerful artists, activists, and different actors along the way, I can say for sure that sharing, being together, eating together, arguing, emphasizing that the personal is always political, are practices that do us good and that create a sense of community. Because silence has never protected us, and the best platform for political theoretical discussion is open, chaotic encounters. One important reference for my work is Guatemalan performance artist Regina Jose Galindo, who reveals the power of the body as an artistic medium and a weapon of resistance. In Emilia Barbosa's essay about Galindo's work, she expands on the practice of body talk, the staged use of the body to convey meaning, writing that body talk is a nonverbal, non-discursive form of communication in which the performer's body brings to life the insidious power of violence against women. Galindo mainly addresses the genocide in her own country between 1960 and 1996, but also the context of systemic violence in countries she has been invited to, in Europe or the USA. In doing so, she reversed the compassionate gaze from the outside, coupled with the conviction of having nothing to do with all that, by creating bridges between different contexts, and draws attention to the links between the economic prosperity of some countries and the poverty of others. In her performances, she uses her own body as corporeal matter and as bearer of content. She reenacts violent situations where she is situated as the victim, opening spaces for discussion of violence and power structures, while at the same time orchestrating the piece. Galindo creates each performance as image narration or storytelling, meticulously placing her images with the aim of reverting the coloniality of the established power. Inspired partly by Galindo's piece, I presented at the beginning of 2021 Sin Títulos in Konstråd, Stockholm. This month-long installation included documents, sound pieces, interviews, testimonies, and other information from women living in Sweden who have either experienced gender-based violence or investigating it. At one stage, we discussed the term feminicide, which has been accepted in Latin America after a dedicated struggle by feminist movements to have a legal framework to understand the structural causes of the killing of women for being women, and so demand justice and reparations. Another example is how we, for La Decoloniala, celebrate Chucky Chinchai, the two-gender jaguar deity worshipped by indigenous cultures, mainly in what is now called Peru. Only third-gender shamans called Kwari Warmi could lead the rituals in their honor. Their androgynous clothing was a visible sign of a third space between masculine and feminine, the present and the past, and the living and the dead. The colonizers attempt to erase any trace of indigenous knowledge, in this case relating to sexual and gender diversity. In La Decoloniala, we chose Chucky Chinchai to bring up a symbol of the knowledge that was erased through the colonization process. With them, we embody, firstly, our goals of questioning the one-sided colonial mainstream history. For me, art has a responsibility to enunciate what lies beneath the status quo in different forms, narratives, rituals, processes, and media. For racialized women from former colonies, there is no other option than to think about these issues constantly as they affect our everyday lives. encountering the sense of either otherness or community as we share public spaces. Colonialism is a concrete system, just like racism and patriarchy. Without changes on a societal level, laws are useless. And so our work and our presence are imperative.